Hi, Paul from Trekitt here today on this absolutely gloriously sunny, beautiful day. Please excuse the hat and glasses. Harry has positioned me with the sun full on me so he can make me look beautiful apparently. But we're here right on the eastern edge of the Black Mountains. We've got the Black Darren up above us and the views are stunning. And we've come today to talk to you about the Lowe Alpine Cerro Torre 6585. Now this really is a premium trekking pack that's designed to carry heavy loads in absolute comfort and stability for, committing treks, whether you're going out for a weekend, whether you're going for a week, a month, or even a year of adventures. This will take you a little bit of backpacking up in wild camping up in the Black Mountains. It'll take you across continents or even take you around the world. You can get everything in here that you need. Just by the way, please excuse the slight scuffling noises if you hear it. Tess is chasing shadows in the bracken. That's Harry's dog. Anyway, so that's the Cerro Torre Lowe Alpine's premium trekking pack, and I've just lugged it up from the road. I've packed it with everything that I would normally take for at least a 2 to 3 day wild camping trip. I've lugged it up the road. We've walked about a mile and a half, and I can testify to how comfortable it is. It carries really well. So we'll move on to what the bag is made of, what its features are, etc., and talk you through the whole thing. Okay, so what's the Cerro Torre 6585 made from? Well, as you would expect from a bag that's designed to withstand weeks, months, years of abuse, being chucked around off buses and coaches, being dragged around by baggage handlers, it needs to be tough, it needs to be durable, and you need to have absolute faith that your bag is going to last the distance, and this is no exception. Lowe Alpine have used their Tri-Shield fabric. It's a 210D ripstop nylon throughout the majority of the pack. There are some lighter weight stretch panels around the pockets, and then down at the base is a heavier duty 500D nylon. That's where the most abuse occurs, but you can be assured that the use of these high tensile strength and high abrasion resistant nylon fabrics gives the pack ultimate strength and reliability for extended use. So let's talk about the back system. Let's spin this bad boy around and you can see it. Oh, it's got a bit of bracken on it, a bit mucky. So Lowe Alpine like to call it a carry system rather than just a back system, and I think that actually is a good way to describe that the system works in its entirety to really carry the load really comfortably, transfer the weight to those load bearing areas of your hips and your thighs and your legs, so you don't want the weight up on your shoulders. So this whole system has been designed to transfer that weight and to bear the weight beautifully onto those load bearing parts of the body and away from the shoulders and neck. Okay, so the kind of the core of the whole system is a TPU sheet which sits behind here. Now TPU is basically just kind of a flexible yet rigid kind of plastic, so there's a bit of movement in there, a bit of flex. The whole panel, it encompasses the whole area. And embedded, attached to that TPU sheet are two aluminium stays which run from the top of the pack right the way through down to the bottom. Now they will flex and curve to your body over time. You can actually see the sheet on the inside. If you undo the pack, there's a zip which is really hard to undo because it hasn't got a puller on it, and a little label that says this is not a pocket. And that's there because that's the only way that Lowe Alpine can get that sheet into the bag once it's made. That's the best place to leave it. Leave it alone, keep it in there, and over time those aluminium stays will curve and contour to custom fit to your back. Okay, so that's the TPU sheet. That's the mainstay of the back system. And then the main load bearing area is this hip belt. And it's quite a phenomenal thing. It encompasses its own torsion bar. We'll do some close-ups of these whilst we're doing the filming, so don't worry. But through the back here is a flexible yet controlling and stabilizing bar which runs from a pocket on the hip belt here right the way through the back to the other hip belt, which allows the hip belt to twist and flex with your movement. So there's a bit of a pivot in there, but it's absolutely locking that load down onto the hips, transferring the weight down onto your weight bearing pelvis, onto the top of your iliac crest. So it's quite a thing. It's fully padded and ventilated. There are multiple layers of medium to high to light density foams built around comfort and stability. And you can see that it's pre-curved, so you know that just sits on that shape, so it almost clamps onto your hips when you put the rucksack on. It's a really kind of nice feeling that you're getting a good hug from the hip belt and just lamping that weight onto your hips. The hip belt is also adjustable. You can adjust where these buckles sit, the pocket and this webbing strap here. You can slacken this off, undo the pocket and move this section in and out to suit basically your girth, you know. So if you're a bit thicker in the girth and you want the hip belt doesn't quite wrap round enough, you can extend it. If you're slimmer and narrower in the girth, you can pop the hip belt back in a little bit and make sure you get the buckles and the padding and the pockets all in the right place. So highly customizable. I've set that for me, so I'm just going to leave that where it is. And you get a really good forward pull hip belt. So when you've got the rucksack on, it's quite an unnatural way to tighten a belt is to go backwards. If you pull forward on the straps, it really locks that into place. Okay, so moving up, you've got this, you've got this ventilated section on here, and the foam within the hip belt is die cut as well. So that is allowing lots of ventilation around that area, because that's going to be tight onto your body for the whole time you've got the rucksack on. This whole section up through here is lightly padded, and there's a really good dense lumbar pad, which again helps to centralize the pack into that hollow in your back and just to keep that weight centralized there over your pelvis. And the whole thing is covered with this open mesh lightweight mesh material, which extends right the way through into the shoulder harness, and that helps to wick the moisture away from you, keep the air flowing around the back. It's pre-curved, so when it's on your back it should follow your natural contours, and it does create a slight air gap around this section here, but it is a close contact back system. You know, what you don't want is the weight being pushed away from your back, because you know you can carry up to about 25 kilos in this thing, and you don't want that weight away from your back destabilizing you and moving your center of gravity. You want to keep your center of gravity as close to your spine and as close to your hips as possible. So that's close fitting, but there is some ventilation there with the open foam, and again you've got these die cut EVA section through the middle. The shoulder straps themselves are also pre-curved, even though I've got the top tensioners done up here just for my own comfort, but if I slacken that off you can see that they sit in that shape, so they're pre-curved to distribute the weight around your shoulders, and then they are reinforced over the top with a stiffer sheet, just to make sure that when you do these top tensioners up, that the shoulder straps don't deform under load and distort, just to keep that even distribution across the shoulders. So the back itself is available in two different lengths. So this is a medium large, and it's also available in a large extra large. Harry will put all the details and sizes and you know all the dimensions up in a link. But it's also adjustable. That's why it's called the VT Flex, variable tension adjustable. So you can literally pull up that section there. There's a great big Velcro section on the pad here, and the whole shoulder harness literally just slides up and down on two parallel sort of grooves on the side of the pack, and they're ratcheted, so you can sort of count up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that, to make sure you get the right position. Now the advantage of this of the shoulder harness being attached to the two grooves is that it always remains level. I know you've seen on some packs you kind of undo a Velcro bit and the whole shoulder harness comes out and flops around, and you've got to really kind of tweak it and make sure that it's level, otherwise you get one strap higher than the other. This one, so easy. Literally pull up, adjust, push down, job done. And that is the shearing forces needed to release the Velcro in a shearing force are immense. It's easy to pull it up like that, but you're never going to do that when it's on your back. So that is very, very controlled and locked into place once you've adjusted it. So super simple. It's, I think, over 32 odd years of working in the outdoor industry, this is one of the simplest and easiest adjustment systems I've ever seen on a backpack. There's been some weird and wonderful designs, but this just works, super easy, and the fact that you've got this parallel level adjustment on the shoulder harness really does set it apart. Please bear in mind that getting your rucksack fit is absolutely essential. It's as essential as getting your boots fitting properly. You're going to have this thing on your back maybe 5, 6, 7 hours a day. It needs to fit and be comfortable. So it's all dependent on your torso length, not your height. for example, I'm 6'3", but I've got a very short back. All my height is in my legs. My iliac crest, the top of my hip bone, is here, and my C7 vertebrae is here, so that distance is only about 48 centimetres. So I always go for the shorter back lengths in these kind of rucksacks to make sure that I'm getting that fit properly. But again, we'll put a link up here to a really handy video we've done on how to fit your backpack properly, and please do ensure that you look at that and understand the whole process, because it is absolutely essential that your pack fits you properly and is comfortable. It just, you know, what's the point of coming out somewhere like this where it's absolutely beautiful and you're slogging around with an uncomfortable bag on your back and hating every minute of it? You know, let's enjoy the outdoors, let's not struggle. So make sure you get that fit properly. Okay, let's go through the features. There are a lot, like I said, so just working from the top of the bag, we'll go down and just try and cover as much as we can. So it's a traditional top entry bag, so you've got a top over lid which comes over and literally just covers the top section of the bag, and then you've got entry in through a draw cord and a compression strap at the top. One of the main features about this top lid is that it is extendable, hence the name 65 to 85, so you can lift the lid up and get more stuff underneath, lift the valance up, pack up right to the top of the valance, and you get an extra 20 litres of storage. Really handy if you go shopping when you're out and you want to pack all your food in the top. There you go, you've got some extra space readily available. The top lid also can be completely removed. Handy if you just want to shed a bit of weight, you're just going somewhere where you just don't need that extra capacity. And it also, another feature of the top lid is that it flips over inside out and turns into a little day sack. So if you're off doing some travelling, you can leave your bag in your accommodation, take the lid off, turn it inside out, turn it into a little day sack and go off for the day. You've got 15, 20-ish litres of storage space there, and it actually turns into a really usable little day sack. I was really impressed when I was fiddling about with this earlier. It does work really well and just gives you that extra capacity and versatility when you're out travelling. So to convert the top lid into a day pack, obviously the first thing you need to do is empty out the contents. Then you've got two Fastex buckles just located behind the shoulder straps, so unclip those, unclip that, unclip the front straps, and that completely removes the day bag. So grab inside, pull out the shoulder straps, turn that base compartment right the way around so it all turns yellow as opposed to green. Hold that flat, and what you can do is you put your contents that you're taking out inside, like so, and you've got a really usable, nice, lightweight little day bag. And it's even got a kind of big stash pocket on the front you can drop bits and pieces into. But just a really handy feature, and like I said, totally usable, you know, a proper little conversion. Okay, so let's talk about pockets. Right at the top you've got your big zip pocket in here. Obviously, that's what I said, that's where you turn the bag inside out to turn it to a day sack. And then underneath the lid you've got a zip pocket with a key clip in, and there's also an SOS panel underneath, which just gives you some simple instructions on how to raise attention should the worst happen and you get stuck somewhere. Right on the front here, very prominent, is this massive stash pocket on the front. I've got my waterproof jacket in there. I like to keep that in there because that's just quick and easy to get hold of. I know exactly where it is should it rain. No, it's not going to rain today, but always carry it with me. And then inside that pocket there's another little zip section, and that's where the rain cover is stored. So the rain cover comes out and completely covers the whole bag and toggles onto the side to keep it secure. Behind the zip pocket here is a big stash pocket. I've got my waterproof over trousers in there, and that extends right down to the bottom of the bag. You can see how deep that is. That deep. Great place to keep wet, horrible kit. If you've got like a wet tent fly sheet or wet over trousers, just keeps it away from your bag, the rest of your kit. And there's little drain holes at the bottom, so any water will drain through. Typical side pockets, so you've got nice big stretchy mesh side pockets. You can see in this one here we've got a 1 litre Nalgene bottle, so it'll stretch to fit over that. They are really massive pockets. Same on the other side. We got a bit of a retro Trekitt bottle. I dug this one out of my kitchen drawer. That's one of the first ones we ever made. That's going to be a collector's item, that one. And then also on the side of the pack, you've got these two compression straps, which, as the name implies, they compress the contents of the bag. So if you've not got much stuff in here, or you really need to lock the load in to stop it swaying around, tighten these up, lock them into place, and that'll help the load stabilize. The top one, as you can also see, acts as the loop for walking axes or trekking poles if you've got them attached. There's a quick release buckle, and you can create a little loop just by pulling this bit of plastic on the side here. Easily create a loop to hold the shaft of the poles or the axe. So down the bottom underneath the mesh bottle pocket, you can see the plastic head locker system. This is to attach your walking axe, and the best way to attach this is to put the shaft of the axe through the loop on the compression strap first. So literally just pull this little tab, it creates a loop, pop the shaft up there, get the bit of plastic, pop it through the hole in the head of the axe, lie it flat, make sure it's in place, do the strap back up. There you go, nice and secure. Okay, to secure your walking pole, just telescope it up if you've got a 3-section pole. Unclip the compression strap on the side, create your little loop by pulling this tab, pop the pole through the loop, and pop the tip into the tip gripper, like so. Secure the strap. That's it, walking poles, nice and secure. Okay, so moving down to the bottom, you've got another entry into the pack through a traditional, what we would generally call a sleeping bag compartment, and that's pretty much what it gets used for. I've got my RAB sleeping bag in there at the moment. That can be divided, so you can have two separate sections to the bag, a bottom section and a top section, with a simple diaphragm in the middle, or remove it and just have one great big empty, well, not empty in this case, but one great big compartment all the way through. And if that wasn't enough, you can also get into the bag via this great big U-zip here, which allows you to unzip all the way around, open up the bag, so you kind of plonk it down, you get to your destination, you want to find something at the bottom of your bag, you can literally just open this up, there you go, inside. And underneath that you get an internal compression strap. Now this is really, really useful. It again just locks the contents of the bag inside, keeps them tight. Rather than having to squash the bag itself, it compresses the contents. Really works well. I'm very impressed with that. Particularly as I like to pack using stuff sacks. And as you'll see when Harry does the close-ups, you'll see how beautifully packed this rucksack is and how well organised it is. And that internal compression strap just helps to keep things in order. Whilst we're on the outside of the pack here, you can see you've got a large grab handle. Very easy to pick the bag up off a carousel or out the back of a bus or whatever. Very, very easy to pick that up. And there's another one on the back. So if you were hauling this bag, you could connect these two together with a tape sling and do some hauling if you were doing some mountaineering and you had to haul the bag up. And then also across the front of the bag here are these additional tie-in loops, and that allows you to put some bungee cord or some accessory cord onto the outside of the bag, just to give you some additional storage if that wasn't enough. I mean, to be honest, there's plenty of storage in here. These straps down at the bottom act as compression straps again, so if you've not got much in the bottom you can compress that down, and as you can see they're very long, so if you extend them right out and clip it, and you're using a sort of traditional foam roll mat or something like that, you could pop that through there, or if you wanted to roll your tent fly sheet up, put it on the outside to dry whilst you're walking, that's a good spot for that. And then just back onto the shoulder harness, you've got your sternum strap, which is adjustable and locks into place through these little daisy chain loops on the outside, so you can adjust that up and down, and that features an emergency whistle, so you never have to carry a spare one with you. There you go, you've got one built into your rucksack. And then pockets wise, two more pockets on the outside, right on the hip fins. We talked about those right at the beginning, but they're really handy for those bits and pieces, energy gels, mobile phone, GPS, things you want to get at quickly. They're on the outside of the bag, really handy, really useful place for them. Not immediately obvious when you look at this pack are the two large bellows pockets on the side. Now, when I was reading up on the pack and doing my homework, I thought, where are they? I can't find them. I can feel the bellows section, but I can't find them. And that's because Lowe Alpine have sort of stealthily put the zips move that, right down the outside of the bag on the seam, and you can see there that these pockets bellow right out. So although they're not immediately obvious, they are there. There are 2 zips on the side seam and give you these 2 big bellows pockets, one either side of the pack. Oh, that was close. All the clips are easy to use with gloves, and all the zips have good sort of glove friendly, mitt friendly zip pullers on them. Even on the smaller pockets, they're very easy to grab and use. And as well as your water bottle pockets on the outside, you do get a full kind of 3 litre capacity hydration sleeve on the inside. The tube can come out in the middle and drop down either shoulder harness, and there's elastic loops on there just to locate your tube onto whichever side you fancy. So that's it, that's the Cerro Torre 6585. So Harry will put the link up here. You can go to the website and geek out on all the information, have a look at the other colours. And we also do this in a women's model as well, which is basically the same, just suited to the female form. So yeah, go and have a look at the link, and as usual, please put your comments and suggestions and your feedback in the section below. It's always good to hear from you. Much as I love doing this, much as I love coming out on a beautiful sunny day, it is nice to know that my work is appreciated and that we're getting some good information across to help you guys enjoy the great outdoors. And if you really do like the videos, please subscribe and you'll get automatic updates then when our new videos are released. So that's it. I'm going to go and yomp off. Harry's going to go and tidy up his camera stuff or whatever he does, and we'll see you again. Toodaloo.